So let's talk about Mary some more. Hopefully you've watched the last video, or that comment makes no sense at all. But Mary was our ideal client. Remember, Mary had certain characteristics. The next question you need to figure out is, where does Mary hang out? Now in our case, that's going to be harder because Mary spends most of the day at home right at the moment. So there's a good chance Mary's going to be online. Maybe Mary hangs out on Facebook. Maybe Mary hangs out on Instagram. Maybe Mary is an IT nerd and she hangs out on Reddit. Whatever it might be, if you can't figure out where your people hang out, then perhaps you don't know them as well as you think you do. Yes, they're going to be online, but is that the only place they're going to be? Maybe they go to networking events. Maybe they go to local meetups. Maybe they're members of the Chamber of Commerce in your local area. Maybe they're members of the Bar Association in your local area. Maybe they hang out at the pub. Maybe they go to the races on the weekend. Maybe they go to sporting events. Whatever it may be, you need to figure out where your people hang out the most. Why? Comes back to known, liked, and trusted. The easiest way to become known by a group of people who meet a certain common characteristic is by going to where they're already at. Obviously. Go to where they're at. Join with their interests. Be known to them by literally introducing yourself to them. Not to sell them anything, but to become known by them. So they know your name, so they know what your phone number is. Yes, they might know what you do, but that doesn't need to be why you go there. You're going there to get to know people and to shake hands and to be kind and to participate with them in their lives. This is how you become known, liked, and trusted. You hang out with people. It is really not a complicated scenario. So why should you do this? Now, the distressing reality that is news to many lawyers is you cannot generally distinguish yourself on expertise alone. Most lawyers would like to pretend that they are the most expert, the best, the most competent, the most knowledgeable in their field. Whether or not that's true doesn't actually matter, because that is not where the buying decision comes from. The buying decision comes from the known, liked, and trusted trifecta. You might be the most expert lawyer in your field, but if you are a total jerk, and I have met Joe 67 times, and he's been kind to me every time, and we've gotten to know each other, and I know how many kids he's got, and I trust him because I just assume a certain level of competency, then I'm going to send my work to Joe, not to you, even if you're better. Why is that? Joe has invested in the relationship with me in advance of me needing legal advice. Lots of lawyers would like to distinguish themselves on expertise. The truth is, most clients perceive most lawyers as similarly expert in their fields. All things being equal, unless they have an experience that demonstrates otherwise, or some greater degree of sophistication to allow them to make those kinds of decisions, most clients will view you as similarly competent to the person next to you and the person next to them, and so on and so forth. And the distinguishing feature is not a factual one when it comes to who clients decide to engage. It is at least partially an emotional decision, and that is where the likability factor comes in. People do business with people they like. So they might know who you are, but if they hate your guts because you're rude and arrogant and awful, they're not going to send any work to you. Why on earth would they do that? Nobody wants to spend more time with someone they can't stand. They're going to spend more time, especially with a stressful legal matter, with someone they like. Now, of course, you need to develop trust as well. But the easiest way to do all of these things, at least at first, is to go where the people are already at. It's not that complicated. So your homework is look at what you wrote down after the last lesson and think to yourself, where do these people hang out? Be specific. If you just write down Facebook, you're wasting your time and everyone else's who you take that piece of paper to. Where on Facebook? Are they in groups? Are they following particular companies? Are they having conversations just in your news feed? Where on Facebook do they hang out? What kinds of places? What are they interested in? Why do they hang out there? Same with Instagram. What hashtags do they follow? What kind of people are they interested in following? How can you get involved in that? Where do your people hang out? If they hang out in person or on forums, write down. I want you to write down 5 places your people already hang out. Not that hard. It can be online, it can be offline. It doesn't matter. But you need 5, and you need to pick ones that are accessible to you, because not surprisingly, your job is going to be to go to those places and to hang out with them.